guys? So, I got everything all loaded up. I just got the Radiant and the ADM. I'm not going nuts. And I just tried to calculate and enter my destination for the Fallujah Club. And I guess I don't know how I freaking miscalculated on Google Maps or something. Fuck it, let's go to Fallujah. An hour and a half it is. I had to make a U-turn. I started feeling this whoosh feeling. It's been coming on and off for the last few days, where I just get this complete loss of energy and this like feeling of like I'm not faint, but some serious heartburn out of nowhere. My left arm gets really weak. I'm concerned it's something on a more serious that I need to address. And I stopped. I was going to pull into the urgent care and have them check my vitals, but the whole parking lot was packed full, and it was small over there. So I pulled into the parking lot and I stepped out for a few minutes just to say, all right, how do I feel? I took all my vitamins this morning and my aspirin. I'm gonna head home and find who my new GP is, see how I feel. I may go to the ER and have them check my vitals. My guess is my bad habits over the years are starting to catch up to me. Okay, so I found the doctor's office. They agreed to take me. I did the enrollment online. We're heading over there now. Get a good baseline. Hopefully they can draw blood today. Check all my vitals. You know,
end of the road, turn left.
Get the whole process started. I had a GP twice and they kept dropping out of the network and all this crazy crap. So time for me to start taking better care of myself. I'm getting older, 48, not far from 50. A lifetime of bad habits starts catching up on you real fast once you hit that age. It's also an opportunity to correct these issues and possibly make a positive change for the future. So, it is what it is. If you could drop 100 pounds and fucking quit the smoking and change the diet, which, it's not easy, but it's all about, do you want to live till your mid to late 50s or your mid to late 60s or 70s? That's what it boils down to. So, off to the doctors and we'll see how it goes. Let's go. Yeah, you gotta make you wear one of these things, huh? Okay. Check America. Alright, a little pokey finger next, and then some sort of EKG to check my heart. Then we're gonna have to get some blood work ordered up and a whole bunch of fun. Good times. Alright, so we just did the EKG. 15 minutes of getting stuff taped to my chest and my sides for... Oh, we're out of paper. Then we get paper. And then it was a quick print, and then she... It's alright. We'll be back in a bit. And then I think next we're going to do a full blood panel. See where I'm at. My blood pressure wasn't like critical, horrible. What was it 146/85? Something like that. Which is a high, but it's not like, better rush your ass to the hospital high. So 146/85. I think that's it. Anyway, now we wait. Alright. Well, Jake America is officially a type 2 diabetic. Diabetes. I kind of assumed that might be the case, but it's been confirmed. A little prick of the finger and some a quick scan, whatever they do with it. Like, yeah, she said pre-diabetic would be at a level, hemoglobin level of like 6 point something, and you're like 7.2. So you're just over the hump from pre-diabetic to type 2. Not type 1 where you need to inject insulin, but type 2 enough where she prescribed me some metformin. They did the EKG. They did find an irregularity in my EKG. And she said, basically, you've been having blood pressure issues for probably over the last several years at least. And at one point I did score a little high. I mean, it's not like critical high. It's like, what, 145 over 82 or something along those lines. I forget exactly. But it's enough to where you have hypertension, where it's not critical, where you should rush to an ER immediately. But it's enough where the heart has had to work harder and harder to pump that blood. And there's other factors too. I'm sure the smoking has contributed to it. So as a result of that, she said your heart, which is a muscle, has increased in size from its standard. Not dramatically. And she said, I couldn't give you a percentage until I send you in for an echocardiogram. But it's definitely, the walls are a little thicker now because it's been really trying harder to pump that blood. And over time, that makes the muscle work harder, which what happens when you work a muscle hard, it gets bigger. So she said, don't be concerned. I'm not saying there's anything critical going on, but I'm going to send this off to our what's it called, the cardiology people, for them to have a baseline, so that going forward in the future, we know where you started at least. And she said, basically when it comes to the type 2 diabetes, that's something you can easily thwart with a change in lifestyle. And I said, well, I have been falling off the pier when it comes to eating carbs lately, and sweets, which I never used to be a sweets guy. But the last few months especially, I've been really into those damn fucking ice cream cones, and between all the carbs and the sweets and the sugars, a lack of daily exercise, and smoking on top of that, and then alcohol being infused into the mix. That's a perfect storm. So I'm at that age where I'm at a fork in the road, Make better choices, you'll probably be okay and live longer. Keep up what you're doing, you'll end up on a slab having open heart surgery in 5 or 10 years. I'm guesstimating. So, and she prescribed me a different, something other than the friggin', what's it called? Lisinopril. Those are, for some reason, they make some people cough, like rabid coughing. It's because it's derived from snake venom, believe it or not. So she prescribed me a different medication for the blood pressure. And I'm going to come back tomorrow. Can't eat after midnight. They're going to do a full blood panel. And then we'll see if anything else requires any medications or where I'm at, and then go from there. But I feel better knowing that we did the basic intro test. We're going to have the blood analyzed. Eventually, it'll probably move up to a full body scan type thing, maybe some chest x-rays, see how the lungs are, which I'm sure they're not doing great while they're smoking. But I'm happy that I found a really good place, nice people, not that far from the house, and I feel better. And I said, well, those feelings of the flushness and the feeling numb, is that part of the blood pressure, or? She said, well, it could be, but it also could be anxiety. And I was like, so what should I take for anxiety? She said, a paper bag. Because if you breathe into a bag like you're hyperventilating, and that reduces the amount of calcium being either taken away or injected, I don't know. I was basically saying, all right, should I be taking something like a Xanax or something, Maybe my natural anxiety is a bit too high as well. Especially in this day and age where there's enough to make you anxious in this life. But She said, well, let's let 2 weeks go by. Let's see how you stabilize with the blood pressure meds and the metformin. And then we'll go from there. And if you still want something for anxiety, we'll give you something. I was like, all right, I'm not really big in, I'm not Mr. Pill Popper in any way, but if I could take a little something to take a little bit of the edge off of life that'll help me stay calmer, that's a plus in my book. And there's another thing that I brought up. I said, by the way, since we've confirmed I'm type 2 diabetic, I read that diabetes has a drastic effect on vision. And if it goes untreated for too long, it can lead up to complete blindness. She was like, oh yeah. And I said, as I told her, I said, you know, I recently got into sports shooting and I just got a new prescription, but I find my vision the last year and a half especially has gotten really blurry. And there's some times where I'll be like, you know, later in the evening I'm watching TV and it'll be so blurry I'm like blinking my eyes because I can't see properly. And she said, well, the diabetes affects how the blood flows to the eyes as well. It's like trying to look through a coating of molasses is what she used. So I said, is there a chance that the metformin, once I stabilize my sugars, is there a chance my vision could actually clear up a little bit? She said, oh yeah, absolutely. I was like, well, great, I just got a prescription, so I'll probably have to get a new one, right? She's like, well, if that happens, yeah, unfortunately, you're going to have to go get a new, because it might have been based on the effects of the blood flow in the eyes. So that's where we are. I'm also going to schedule my first freaking colonoscopy. I'm 48. My dad died at 59. His colon cancer arrived with him around 55, 56. They were able to remove that, and then soon after it sprouted again. It was a very rare type, and then after that it jumped over to the pancreas, and that's what killed him. Once the diagnosis for pancreatic cancer comes, it's just get your affairs in order, bro. And that's what happened with him. Maybe 4 or 5 months, 6 months, I guess. I forget the exact time frame. Unsweetened iced tea with lemon. Yeah, so I'm glad I went. More tests tomorrow, but at least I have a baseline, and it's scary when you start feeling weird and you don't know what's causing it, you know? Like, am I having a heart attack? Am I having a stroke? What's going on here, you know? And you're like, even the first nurse, nice lady from Massachusetts, and I was telling her, yeah, yesterday my arm was feeling a little almost numb. She's like, why didn't you go to ER? I was like, because it's like $1,000 just to sit down, even with the insurance. And then there's tests, and then you're getting a $5,000-$10,000 bill. I'm like, wow, yeah, but if it's between your health and some money. I'm like, yeah, but I'd rather, if it's not critical, I'd rather not get a huge bill. I can't afford to pay that shit. You know, it is what it is. That's the reality in America. A lot of people, we don't go to doctors because they don't have the money for the insurance or to pay for any of the tests. And then they die young. So, all's good in the hood. I'll go pick up those scripts later on when they are filled. Metformin, and I forget the name of the other one for the blood pressure. Never heard of that before, but we'll get on those. And, you know, it's time to start making much healthier choices. Back to a South Beach type diet again. Time to toss all the chips and all the crap. And cut way back on the soda in general. Even though it's zero and no sugar, it's still horrible. It's got sodium in it. Salt level affects diabetes too, so it's time to get serious about health. Now I have motivation. It was weird being told your heart has actually increased in size because of the blood pressure problems, and mostly because of me not staying on top of it and not staying on the proper medication going back 2 years, 3 years. So that's my bad. So it's been caught in enough time to actually be okay, but no more fucking around when it comes to the health. Enough is enough. Alright, that's it. It's time to go back to the casa and go get the pills and then move forward in a positive direction. And then we can go shoot at some point, hopefully, in this sauna we call Florida. It's abs. Here's to a healthier Jake America.